Single Sinawalli. So from here, just the stick movement. It's going to have a high strike, like to the temple, and then it's going to circle down to the knee. It's going to do that with both sides. So if I start with my right, I go 1, 2, and then the left will do the same thing. 1, 2. So you can see that as the low strike happens with the left, the right hand comes back to a chambered position. That's that upper position. That's the same one that you would use when you're doing the basic warm-ups. The same position. Traditionally, they would just bring this underneath the armpit. But in the way that I teach it, I'm teaching a very specific position here. You notice where my palm is right about at my solar plexus. So I'm keeping the center line in mind. I'm not just coming anywhere. Plus I've closed this up. If somebody presses on my elbow, they can uproot me. The way that I'm doing it, I have this here, and I have a specific shape in my arm. It could be used as a parry, and then if you tried to push on it, I can ground this and I can uproot you. That's the idea anyways. So you'll notice that that's that position, and I'm doing it with both hands. So then I go 1, and then here's the tricky part, is to get the bottom hand to come out when the top hand is going down so that they don't click. You gotta remember, this is a sword. And this is another reason why I don't do it up here in the armpit, which I see a lot of people doing. If you try to do that with a sword, the probability is that that's going to, unless you time it to come out, the probability is that's going to have a more possibility of cutting yourself. Rule number 1, try not to hit yourself, try not to cut yourself. So you'll see, I'll go 1 on the first strike, and you see I have my chambered position here. And then I am timing it, but I'm bringing that bottom hand out as the top hand circles down. I'm not doing any stance work at this point. So I'll just do a couple of those. See if I can get myself in the frame here. Now the stance work is basically for mobility. It's not just to get power into something like a batter would, although that is part of it. But I'm also wanting to actually be able to move my center over. So when I go back and forth, what happens is, say if I go from this stance, when I step over, I'm predominantly forward and I'm ready to run at 45 degrees. I do not have my tip of my toe here. I have it just like a runner's block. This is a very specific stance. And then if you watch my center line, when I go the other way, I'm actually taking a step that way. You get it? So then now I have the same paradigm on this side. And you notice the runner's block again, and I'm ready to run. And right now I'm just going side to side in a straight line. Can you see it? It looks pretty easy. This is an ostinato. No matter what I'm doing with my upper body, I'm going to keep this going with my lower body. And of course, we're talking about Single Sinawalli. So you can see it. So on the first strike, that's my step, and then I'm in place, and then I strike down. So that's what it looks like. And you notice I'm literally taking a step and then sliding the foot up.